as Real Estate Matters begins right now as we welcome Pastor Rodney Brooks. Rodney, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Here we are. Super exciting. And Houston already is an exciting city, and to see great people move into it is just awesome. So let's tell people a little bit about your background and where you came from.
Well, I've been in music ministry for, matter of fact, I'm celebrating my 40th year in the ministry.
Wow.
And what better way to celebrate it than being right here in Houston at the greatest church in all of America, Second Baptist Houston. So very excited. I was in Atlanta before coming to Houston and in Florida before going to Atlanta. So that's kind of where I've been for the last 40 years.
Well, how did you make your way to Houston? Let's tell people. And Second Baptist, for those of you that don't know, we have 7 campuses. Rodney is at our Woodway Campus. I serve a small part in the music ministry there as well. But let's tell people, when did you get the word and you knew that you were going to be on your way to Houston?
Well, you know, Bill, in ministry, you have to just sense when God is moving in your spirit to make a change. And that's the way it's always been for me in ministry. I don't dare make a move without hearing from the Lord first. And that happened for me after 14 years of being at First Baptist in Atlanta with Dr. Stanley. I thought that would probably be the place I would retire right there. I was very happy. God was using me mightily in that ministry, and we were seeing some awesome things going on. But little did I know that Dr. Stanley would be stepping down from the pastorate there at First Baptist Church, still remaining within touch, of course, but stepping down as senior pastor of First Baptist Atlanta. Well, the Sunday before Dr. Stanley decided to step down is when I received the first call from Houston to consider a move. And so the next Sunday, 7 days later, when Dr. Stanley made that announcement, I knew that God was in it. So for me, it was confirmation, and we came out. My family and I spent 3 days here at the church visiting Houston and the staff, and of course, wonderful Dr. Young, and just knew then that God was preparing me for another move.
You talk about timing. That is incredible.
Amazing.
It really is. Give us an idea as far as what life was a little bit like in Atlanta, in that area. What's it like?
Well, Atlanta's a beautiful place. If you've ever been there, the terrain is beautiful. It's you're close to everything, and you're just a few miles from mountains, the Great Smoky Mountains, and then on the other side, you're close to the beaches in Florida, and then, of course, the coastline on the East Coast. Just beautiful. You have 4 distinct seasons there.
That's one of the things I liked about my visits to Georgia and Atlanta.
But
really
the weather is nice and cool in the spring, and it gets brutal sometimes in the summer, but it doesn't last. That's the great thing. We move on into the fall months. But, yeah, Atlanta's a great place. It's vibrant, big community of arts there, of course, and business and industry. Great churches there, but we loved the entire 14 years we were there.
Wow, 14 years. In fact, I had the opportunity, as I used to travel, I met Dr. Stanley and visited the church one time. It's been a long, long time, but it was really incredible and a great experience. He was so nice, by the way.
Oh, he is a real gentleman, and loved working for him and under him and with him. He is off platform what you see on the platform. He is a godly man with great discernment and insight, and just the ability to speak into your heart as far as opening God's Word and just ministering to you in a very special way.
Well, when you first got to Houston, as you maybe a couple weeks in, what were some of the impressions that you got about our city that maybe you didn't think about when you were in Atlanta on your way over here?
I think that my first impression that stood out to me more than anything was how very kind people are here. I mean, extremely friendly. We noticed that in the restaurants and the retail businesses. And maybe I was just at the right place at the right time. I don't know, but my experience has been these are the friendliest people I've ever been around. Even in traffic, when I'm trying to make a lane change, people actually let you in. Unlike times in Atlanta.
Well, you're on different roads than I am. That's not what I've seen just the other day. But in the meantime, speaking of traffic, Atlanta has its share too, because it's the configuration. I remember when I used to visit, it has the loop around it and so forth.
Now, the difference there is we had maybe 2 loops total. Here, I think there are, I don't know, I've counted 7 or 8, 9 maybe.
And we're not done yet.
But the one amazing thing about the roadway system here in Houston is you have what I think you call the feeder roads. And so you can jump off the interstate and you can get to where you need to be just by bypassing traffic on the feeder roads. Whereas Atlanta, you're gridlocked and you just sit there.
Wow. Well, as far as the real estate experience, so there you are. I would assume you've visited Houston before, but learning about it and thinking, I'm going to live here with your family, your wife and children, right?
Yes.
So how did your real estate experience play out? How did you find your realtor and what happened there?
Well, I was fortunate enough in that a colleague of mine was able to come with me from First Baptist Atlanta, and he serves in the same department as I do here at Second Baptist. And so he and his wife were able to relocate quicker than my wife and children because my wife teaches, my children are involved in soccer. So they got a head start. They purchased a house first. They were so highly impressed with their realtor that they recommended her to me, and it was probably the best decision I made. She was absolutely amazing. We probably visited over 100 homes, but what I really loved about Gretchen, our realtor, is that I felt really confident that she had my best interests at heart, and she would point out things that I would have never seen and protected me from myself at times with just, particular areas or types of houses or things that I would have never seen to start with. So I just felt like she was really on my side and my biggest supporter when it came to finding the right house in the right place for my family.
And the right time. And that's Gretchen?
Gretchen Joska. She's with Remax Grand.
And in fact, Barry, as you speak about Barry, it turns out, I haven't seen where he lives, but as I talked to him, he ended up, I think, a few blocks from my house.
He's up in Katy.
So he's right around the corner from me. So that's incredible. And it's tough. As a buyer, we talk about here on this show almost every week, it seems like, the bidding wars and how hard it is.
Yes.
So you actually got through that process. Give us another word about the challenges that you face there.
Well, the real estate market here is very similar to Atlanta in that it's a great time to sell. It is a seller's market, but on the flip side, when you arrive where you're trying to find that right home, the perfect home, you're in the bidding wars immediately. I think we lost 3 homes to bidding wars, but we finally found the right place, and fortunately, we were able to, I guess, be the top bidder, so to speak, in this one, and landed the home. But yeah, it's a challenging time right now to search for a home, but a great time if you're on the selling end of it.
And then how long did it take you to sell your home in Atlanta?
I think in a matter of days. Under 10 days. Under 10 days.
That's awesome. So, and as far as the scope of your work, now people, unless they are part of the music ministry or are part of the congregation or go to Second Baptist, they may not know that what you're doing is a massive position.
Sure.
You're dealing with several hundred in the choir on a Sunday morning.
Yes.
Musicians like me and Dr Stanley and all these characters. I mean, it's a big thing, and there's a lot of moving parts. Give us an idea as far as from a leadership standpoint, and one of the maybe guiding principles that gets you to be able to be such a great leader. Because I've observed you from the time you came in, and I said, Rodney is an incredible individual, gifted. I mean, not only that, you could sing, and your voice is tremendous, your musical ability, and the ability to direct and bring all those things together during the music, during the worship, but also behind the scenes. There's a lot that goes on.
Well, Bill, thank you. You're very kind with those comments. But I think what I do, and every Sunday and every Wednesday are my favorite times of the week. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it. And for me, it doesn't seem like work at all. As a matter of fact, I can't even believe I'm being paid for that. But
me neither. Right?
but I love it and just love what I do. But to your question about leadership, it's really an easy thing when, and like you mentioned a few moments ago, we have a mixture of professionals and amateurs from all walks of life, experiences, backgrounds, and things like that. But the common denominator that you have to find in any group that you're leading, what is the heart of the group? The heart of the group here, as I have found it, is they love to serve in a way that brings honor and glory to the Lord. And they do that with excellence, whatever their skill level is. They want to bring it. They want to produce the best. They want to give their all for it. When you can find that common thread through the amateurs, the professionals, those who've had a few years' experience versus those who have had decades of experience, you can speak into their heart because they're all on the same ground, the same platform. So for me, it's easy because when I address them and speak to them, I speak to their heart more than I speak to anything else. So that's probably in this setting what I'm able to do.
Well, in fact, one of the things that you do, I see you do it on a regular basis, and that is you're a great encourager, and you also bring the best out in people. As far as the singing, the music, you know what you want, you know what's gonna work, and you help us get there. And that's not easy.
Well, you have to remind them of our purpose. And because, the enemy, especially when we're out there trying to do business with God, the enemy would try to distract us. He would try to take us off course. He would try to get in the mix of things and make things difficult. But I think as long as I can draw the priority out and say, this is why we're here, this is what we do and why we do it, then it puts us back on the page. As long as I can keep our choir and the orchestra, singers, instrumentalists, tech team, all who are involved focused on the same goals, we meet it every single time.
Now, as far as you're here, food, this is a great food city. I forget how Atlanta was when I used to visit, but I love Houston for its food. I don't like the humidity personally. However, we have great restaurants. Have you had the experience to eat at some great dinners or lunches around here?
My love is barbecue. And we had
barbecue central.
We are, and we had great barbecue in Georgia. But the brisket here is the best I've ever had. There's a place, I think it's called Rogel's, that I have visited many, many times since I've been. I think I've gained at least 7 or 8 pounds since being here.
No, you're staying in shape. Have you been to Carrabba's right up from the church there? That's
the original. Yes, I have been there as well.
That's super awesome. And Rodney, let's say a word. As the choir is out there, I'm going to tell people the website is second.org.
Yes.
In fact, there's a page where they have you there inviting people if they want more information to reach out. But, I mean, we have such great people that we work alongside. John Stanley's incredible. Megan Stone, Joe Lou. I mean, we could go on for an hour of all the great people that do so much over there. But as far as before we close the segment, Rodney, what else would you like people to know?
Well, just like you were mentioning, our website, if they'll go to second.org, go to the Worship and Arts page, they can read everything they'd like to know about our choir, our ministry, how to become involved. Like every other ministry, we're trying to rebuild after COVID, and we're doing that right now. So if you're out there and you love to sing, you love to make a joyful noise, you want to use your gift and talents for the Lord, we have a place for you at Second, and we'd love to have you visit us on a Wednesday night at 6:30.
And in fact, we want to say hello to Dr. Young on the chance that he may tune in.
Absolutely.
You never know. He's the greatest.
He is the greatest, and he wants to build this choir almost as much as I do.
There you are. Pastor Rodney Brooks, Second Baptist Woodway. Thank you for being on the show, Rodney.
Thank you, Bill.
As we wind up the show, we're bringing everybody back. Here he is, Pastor Rodney Brooks, Second Baptist Woodway Campus. Rodney, before we close things down, what else should people know?
Well, I just want Houston to know what a joy it is to be here and to serve under Dr. Young at Second Baptist Houston, and what a joy it is for my family to be involved in this community. Every community is different, but what we have found thus far is just the friendliness, the accommodating spirit, the welcoming community. It's just been a joy all of these 6 months that I've been here and my family now for the last couple of weeks.
And I think that's going to continue, especially if we have great people like we've had here on the show today moving to Houston. We need more people like y'all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's a great place to live, to grow a family, to serve, to worship, and to work.
And in fact, we're so blessed at Second Baptist. We don't have just one Dr. Young. We have two Dr.
We really
Youngs.
do, and they're both wonderful.
Incredible. And by the way, hello there, Ben, if you're listening. So thank you so much, Rodney Brooks. And Rodney, the website, if they can learn more.
Second.org, and just go to Worship and Arts, and you'll see everything you'd like to know if you want to serve in this awesome ministry.
And if you're part of the choir or music ministry, hey, we all say hello, right, Rodney?
Absolutely. Great having you out there. I look forward to seeing you next rehearsal.
Rodney Brooks. And now